Hello, my name is Ilona, and this is a recap of my life from Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. The first question we started with was Switzerland, because apparently, for the European Court, for the Human Rights Court, so to speak, they actually agreed with a couple of people that in Switzerland wanted to sue their government for not doing enough for the climate. And it has been granted, so to speak. And it's very interesting because immediately in Switzerland, the biggest political party was like, we need to get out of there. It's not really part of the European Union, it's part of the Council of Europe. And they signed up for that, and they're like, yeah, we should withdraw from that. So it's very interesting what's going to happen and what kind of effect it has. So I wanted to take a look at the energy concerning this case. And first of all, we got the King of Wands. So this is a whitehead operation, and this is to show people what is going on, all pain, fear, it's really what's going on with the climate, what's happening. This is very interesting. It's opened people's minds, and especially that immediately in Switzerland they were like, at least the biggest political party, we should get out of there, is a very interesting to see. So it puts things in motion, and I believe that's the most important part and necessary part. I've got another one of these cards. I should put it there. I think these two cards are cleared, so I can get some space here. So the second was about Hungary. In Hungary, there are people actually standing up against Orban, and that's very strange because he is very well liked in Hungary. But someone already mentioned in my chat that it's most likely being paid by Soros to actually, disagree, and they pay for all these people to stand against, of course, Orban. And what was going on here? We see that it brings a lot of sadness. We've got the Five of Cups, we've got the Page of Swords, and we have the Fool card. So this is really opening up things. More information will come out. So it wouldn't surprise me if people are going to follow the money, and that it will come out that it's being paid for, and that this is purposely done to create like resistance. But it will lead to pain, frustration, sadness, of course, that this is happening. But like I said, information will come out, and this will lead to a completely new path. The Fool opens up things, so I do believe that this will put things in motion. Very, very interesting things. So I think that it will come out that a lot of these groups are purposely used and paid for to create this divide and conquer, and I think it's going to be more and more obvious, and this is also part of it. So let's see. The third was about Turkey. There's a lot going on, of course, with Turkey. Also, Erdogan, his party kind of lost in not him essentially, but on the local level. So this is also interesting. So people were kind of wondering what is going on there. Well, I believe the first card was the Moon. We've got the World card, and we have the Nine of Pentacles. So not everything is as it seems, and it feels to me that Turkey is in a very good spot with the World card. It's kind of ending a certain cycle successfully. Not sure if this light is a little bit too close, because it's just lighting up the cards. And Turkey will follow its own independent path. But nothing is what it seems. It feels to me like they're actually trying to weed out people, like what's happening in America as well. Certain people are put in certain positions, and then suddenly they turn, like Johnson, the Speaker of the House, and then you see like, hey, there's something else going on here. And it usually shows people where they stand and what part, they have in the swamp. And if you want to drain the swamp, and that's happening all around the world, you need to know who the puppets are and where they stand. So you kind of need to get them in action, so to speak. But ultimately, this is going to be a successful ending for Turkey, and they will independently follow their own path. Let's see, the next was about Slovakia. They've got a new president, so someone wanted to know what the energy was about this. Well, I've got the Two of Cups, we've got the King of Swords and we have the Emperor. So I do believe that the president will heal. Not only that, but the president is also a very smart man who knows very what's going on, and he's placed there by the military. And when I'm talking about this card, I'm talking about the white hat military. So I do believe that he's purposely placed there to create healing in Slovakia. So we'll have to see, of course, what's going to happen now, but he is put there with a certain purpose. And he's a very intelligent man, communicative. It's going to be very interesting. Let's see. Now these cards go there. I'm creating some space here because there's so many cards here for all the questions and cards, of course, put aside. So that was Slovakia. Then we get David Cameron from Great Britain showing up in Mar-a-Lago. Very interesting. What is he doing? Visiting Mr. T. So this was very interesting. My feeling was immediately that he is probably switching side, and I got the Ace of Cups. I've got the World card again. So this is really about, how do you say this? I should put it like this. This is really about making a new choice or a different choice. So I think he's switching sides. Whether he has a choice or not, but this is really like he's changing, so he'll be working from a different angle. That doesn't mean that he's suddenly going to be different. It means that he's put in place to maybe say something horrific or, you know, very dark, and then hopefully trap others as well. But whether it's voluntarily or not, he's made a choice, and that's why he's showing up there. Very interesting to see. Let's see. Let's put this aside. I believe this card is still, let's see, now this card, we need that one. So this one can be put aside. So that's David Cameron visiting Mr. T. Then we got Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, that's, yeah, we in Dutch we call it Saudi Arabia, but it's Saudi Arabia. And someone was asking me about what's going on there. They've got, of course, you know, bringing the BRICS really into action, but at the same time, they're creating this 15-minute city, and there's other things going on there. Well, the first card I got was the Moon, so nothing is what it seems. So even if it shows up a certain way, doesn't mean it is certainly that way. We've got the Knight of Wands, so that's clearly white hat influences, and we also see sadness, you know, a different way of looking at things. I do think there's still dark energies there that need to be cleared, but I do believe that the white hats are mostly in control, and it will lead, of course, to sadness, and, you know, when things will be more known to people, but things are being put into motion, and not everything is what it seems. So take some things that are coming out with a grain of salt, so to speak. We just don't know exactly what's going on. And I do believe that the white hats ultimately are in control, but there's still things that need to be healed, still things that need to be shown. That's the Five of Cups. Let's see. Yes. So I have to make sure I've got the right cards here. I believe there is this one needs to be there as well. Yes, this is the way. Let's see. Brazil, that is the other question. What is the energy of Brazil? Very interesting going on with a judge in Brazil that wants to, is going after Elon Musk because of, things that are happening on X. And he wants to investigate this, and Elon is really about to open up things. He already mentioned that he's going to talk about what's really happening with the votes there in Brazil, and that things didn't go as it should, and he has a lot of information about that. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there. But the first card I got was the High Priest, so that's dark energies. Not really sure what they're going to do, but it's just going to show their actions and old pain, especially with the voting. A lot of Brazilians were, voting for someone else, and apparently Lula then became president. So there are some things there. It's going to be very interesting what's coming out, but this is the dark energy. They're trying to make a move, but it will just open up things, and I'm not sure. Don't think they know exactly what they're doing, but it's just going to open up things and going to show all this old pain that's been happening in Brazil. So this is going to be very interesting. Sure, a lot of things are going to come out about that. The last question, let's see, was about Canada. We've got the farmers, of course, in Quebec standing up. And just what is the energy of Canada? And very interestingly enough, in the back of the deck, I immediately saw this one. So this is dark energies, and I've got the Queen of Wands as the first card. So this is really dark white, kind of. They're white hats taking over. They're supporting the farmers, and the dark energies are now being shown. It's just so obvious that people are really starting to see this. I also have the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon. So not everything is what it seems, but I do believe that the Queen of Pentacles stands for the farmers. They are being supported by the white hats, and I do think that they ultimately will break all these dark energies. And of course in Canada things will get moving as well, but it needs to be shown. If you want to change things, you need to show it. So I think that's very, very interesting. There was also some talk about being left-handed. I am left-handed myself, so there were a little bit of discussion about that. And that some people, unfortunately, here in the Netherlands were forced to write with their right hand. My father was unfortunately one of them. But interestingly enough, that it was very different. My father comes from a different village than my mother comes from. And her older brother and older sister were both left-handed as well, and they were allowed to write left-handed. So my uncle, who died about 2 years ago now, around Easter, by the way, he was writing left-handed, and especially at his age, it was very interesting to see. So he was allowed to write with his left hand, and so was the sister of my aunt. And my father, who was actually younger than both of them, was not allowed to do that. So he had to write with his right hand. So we had a kind of discussion about that. I'm not sure what that was like in other countries, but that was the policy in the Netherlands. Obviously, when it was time for me to join school, that wasn't the case anymore. But I do write a little bit strange, because I write like this. Because if I write, like this, I wipe out my own my own handwriting. So it usually gets like inked here. So I have to write like that. And it's not nice. My mother, she's right-handed, but she has a beautiful handwriting. So clear, and anyone can read that. It's just, I don't know how she does it. It's completely straight. And if you try to read mine, it's sometimes I cannot even read my own handwriting. So that should tell you something. Something else that was also discussed about, let's see. That was very interesting. That there are a lot of people that are awake, so to speak. They know, they are aware of all this. They are in this community, but they are very fearful, and there's a lot of distrust. And someone was asking if the dark energies are purposely focusing on that. And I do believe that. I do believe they are focused on the distrust, because that is a low frequency. So people in this community usually already distrust things. So they're kind of working with that to keep them in a lower frequency. But it also has to do, well, most of it has to do with their own things. Just because someone is awake and aware of things doesn't mean they are consciously working with their energies. So it's very likely there are still all kinds of things they haven't dealt with or haven't healed. And that will be triggered by all kinds of articles or things that are coming out. It will trigger them on those pain, fear, anxiety, things like that. If they don't heal it, they will start, to project it outside, and they can be manipulated. That's why it's so important to deal with your issues, to do shadow work. So you can heal it and won't be manipulated by it anymore. They won't be able to trigger you. And well, I think that's the biggest part of the Great Awakening, for us to clear our own energies and to work with that. And of course, the energy from yesterday, massive shift. There were a lot of talking about that as well. That it's just an incredible feeling. I don't know, like I've mentioned in my video this morning, I really slept really well. I hope I'll sleep tonight really well. And just the energy is different. It's a different energy going on, and it's. I believe a lot of things have been cleared yesterday, and I believe it was a massive step forward. I'd like to leave it at this. Hope to see you in another video. Bye.